All right, this is the 260 Ford engine that I've got to put into the MGB GT, and it came out of a 64 Fairlane. It's a 260 with a 3-speed manual transmission, and I grew up with these things but never saw a 3-speed transmission. Look how long the tail shaft is.
Holy moly.
Yeah, and
you have to cut down that drive shaft.
Yeah, and I don't know if, but you'd have to disassemble the transmission, but I can't imagine this being on all cars, but it may have been. You know, I would think there would have been a shorter tail shaft, but here's the transmission mount here, so the tail shaft could have been put right there, but I'm not an engineer, so.
Wow, this is complete.
Yeah.
It's got everything you need to run.
Yeah, it's a good running engine.
You think you'll have to add power steering to that car?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Because this don't weigh, but from what I've read, 40 pounds more than the 4-cylinder that was in it.
Okay.
Because the 4 cylinders were so tall.
Just make sure you have a big steering wheel, one of those banjo steering wheels.
Yeah, there you go. We'll go under here, Emil. This is where I don't know, was the gas tank out when we took the pictures the last time?
We didn't focus on it, but I think it was.
Okay, I took the gas tank out, and I've cleaned this all up where I can see all the bad places, and you can see the holes in it. But I can take care of that without cutting this panel out. It's a lot of work cutting it out, putting one in. So I'll have this all done here pretty soon. I've been wire brushing all the metal down all up in here where I can paint it. This has all been cleaned. I'm going back this way. I'm cleaning up the battery boxes. And as Emil said, which is a good idea, I put a battery here and clean this one up. I was going to cut off, but then I'll put metal in here and cover this up, and then I can make this into a storage compartment. So good idea to Emil. And the rubber straps, I just cut them off because they were no good. The springs, they look good. Still got a lot of rust that I've got to take care of, but the car is coming right along. I'm very pleased with the way everything's going right now. So it gives me something to do. And when I come out from underneath this thing, you can see on the floor all the crap come off of it. And I've swept this thing about 4 times, and I get a putty knife that I've got here one someplace, and I use it to scrape it off. It falls down on the floor, and I scrape it off the floor because that's old tar of some kind. So that's where I'm at now.
Undercoating.
Yeah. Okay, I've been doing work on the rocker panels, and I've ordered parts. And the parts that I ordered a gas tank and the little nuts, bolts, screws and things that go to it, the float for in the gas tank. I ordered the brake kit, which is the rear brakes, the brake lines, the rubber ones, the master cylinder, and they're called dog leg panels. And they're the panels that are in right here. This is the dog leg. I didn't know that, but anyway, I've got to cut that out when I get the panels in. And so this little deal right here was about $650 for nothing. You know, the gas tank I get, the rest of it, but they're making money, that's okay. Everybody needs to make money. What I did, this rocker panel, I cut it out. Let me get it over here. Okay, the rocker panel goes on here like that. And you can see right here, Emil, this lip. See this lip?
Yeah.
That lip ran all the way down this rocker panel. It was part of the rocker panel to down there and connected with that. Well, the only way you can get it off, that I could get it off, was just cut the lip off and then down on the bottom, cut the lip off the bottom. Then it came off and cut this right here where the seam is. This was the old rocker panel that came off this side. And you can see it's pretty well keyed up. And what's kind of surprising about it is that the inner rocker panel is solid as a rock. It's got a hole right here that I'm going to patch, but it's solid. When I round it down, wire brushed it down, it was shiny metal, so that was good. Well, the first thing that you got to take off is the threshold, this aluminum piece. With these screws, there's only 6 of them in it, but they've been in it since 1970, so they ain't coming out. And the only way you can get them out is to destroy this thing. So I wound up, now if I'd have done it the right way the first time, I'd have cut the heads off, and I could have probably saved this, but I don't think they're that expensive. So then once you get this off, you come to this that's on the inside, and it makes a clamp in between the threshold and the rubber, and it holds everything in. You see how many screws it got here? Well, they don't come out either. So what I did, I drilled the heads off of them. Then I tried to drill the screw, make a hole. Couldn't do it with a little bit, brand new bit. So I took a 1/2-inch bit, drilled it down, cut the head off. Well, you can see what happens to this. It just destroys it. So that's another new piece that I was hoping I didn't have to buy. So that's that. So you get it all out, then you get to the rocker panel, and like anything, it just doesn't go right in. I had to cut back here, coming back this way where it would clear up there, and then I had to do a little trimming up here, but it, now, I got these clamps. Now, it fits okay. It fit in like that, clamp it here, get the gap right, and then I'll tack it on the back side back here. Once I get that tacked, it's a little bit out of shape down here, but I will, then I'll weld it in down here, and this thing will be done. It'll be pretty easy. The next one will go right on. Well, you leave the gap, there's a body seam here, and it was very noticeable before, but I'm going to put this in, then I'll have a reference point where these lines line up, and then I'll come in and I'll look at the dog leg and see what it looks like, and I'll cut this out and cut back to here and then cut it out down here. This will fall out, then I'll put it back in here and spot weld it across here and weld it into here and do the same down here. This looks simple, you know. I'll find out.
Yes, best laid plans. Huh?
Right, but that's where I'm at on this. So I moved away from underneath the car and all that till I get the parts. Once I get the brake kits and all that, I'll go back under the car and I'll put the brake shoes and everything on the rear end, put it up, finish painting underneath the car. The rear end I moved over here, and I've got it clean, but I want to, I'm going to paint it, and then I'll put it back under the car. So I'm getting close. Anytime you put something on.
It looks so much bigger sitting away from the car, because it seems like it's going to be really, really small, but with those the hubs on the end of them, it really makes it look big.
Oh yeah, it looks bigger than a 8-inch. You know, just looking at it on the floor, I don't know physically if it is or not, but
Right.
it looks big. You're right. So that's where I'm at. what I've done here, I've clamped this rocker panel in place, and you can see they don't fit precision. I never have had a rocker panel fit perfect. So I'll have to fill this in with something here and then Bondo over it. But overall, it works good. Now what I do is I take a straight edge of sometimes, this is a paint stirrer, and I put it here, and you see that laying pretty straight from here to here. Then you come down to here, and it's pretty straight also. Then you want to come to here and see we got a little gap here, but it's one of those things that when I get, and it's straight from right here up, but from here back, it's got, what, a 16th or a 32nd of a gap. So what I'll do is tack this in, then when I get to here, if it's very noticeable, I'll take some Bondo and make this all meet together, and it'll come out. Nobody will ever see it because this thing's this far on the ground, this is under the car, so you can't see it unless you lay down. Okay, I've started cutting out all the rotten steel on this thing, and the first thing that I cut out was the rocker panels and reinstalled them. These are made in America, and as most rocker panel or any kind of replacement part, it didn't fit good at all. And the problem is when they broke it going this way, they didn't round it enough. And what happens, it brings this up. So you got to weld this in, push this down, and you still get out of whack a little bit. So this is what it looked like before.
Not much of that.
No, it's rotted out pretty good. And it was on its last legs down here also.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that. And I got this in, and it's just tacked in. I want it to get everything. They call these dog legs. So this side wasn't real bad. I might have been able to reuse if I'd wanted to. This is it, I cut out, and that's all on the top, but it's still nasty in the back. But this one ain't near as bad as the one on the other side was. So what I've done, now I haven't mocked this one up yet. The other side's done, ready to go in. But the way this goes in, they've had it relieved here where it goes behind it like that, and then it goes in here. And learn from the other side. You have to get everything lined up just right, get it in here, and get it back a little bit further. Like I say, the other side's much better, but if you come up here, Emil, I'll show you. You can see here, this turned and went into here. Well, I had to cut it off, and I got to grind it down some where that I can make it match up here, and it'll fit like this, and then I can weld it in here and fill it in. Then around here in the back, I don't understand. You see this little here, there's about an 1/8 of an inch. This is too short. And you would think that enough people would have complained by now that they'd have had it done right, but they didn't. This was made in Taiwan, and I'm going to say it being a loyal American, this is much better than this. This was made in America. Yeah, hit them in the gut. But I was really excited about these because I thought they were going to fit right in, but you can look This line is perfect. This line here, you see it's out about 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 to 1/4. So I'm going to have to get Bondo and fill it in. It'll fill in, but it's still, that sucks.
Yeah.
And there's no way you can get it in. You can't push it in because that's as far as it'll go. It's on this, unless you cut this off. I want to leave this on, and that may be the problem too. To have it where I can weld to something solid down here on the bottom. So I got that in. This side, pretty solid up here. A little bit of rust here, some back here. Now let's go around to the other side and let me show you. When I cut this panel out right here, and this, you got to picture it that it fits up tight against this. Well, this was behind this dog leg.
Wow.
It's a rat nest. Now, I know he got in from the backside where the rust was.
Yeah.
There was a hole here, but they'll get any place. I've never seen one in a body part like that. Now, this thing
crazy.
sit 20 years, so that's probably the reason why. I've seen them on the engine seat, the wiring up and all that, but he brought some of the carpet in. He brought some insulation in to insulate it. You know, he was thinking of cold weather.
Oh,
which
yeah,
we
he
don't
was-
have much of in Florida. But that's what he was thinking about, so
Cool.
it's interesting finding stuff like that.
Yeah, that's neat. This thing's gonna be more solid than mine soon.
Yeah, this one's turning out, that was the rust that was in it.
Yeah, that thing is bad.
Yeah, and I don't know what this is, but it was on
Sound
the,
deadener.
is that what it is? I guess so, it's right in here, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's what it is, but I guess I'll have to do something here, maybe put something up in there, but I ain't that worried about it. So that's where I'm at now. I've been back under it cleaning a little bit.
I got
And,
some of that.
because I got my gas tank in, I got these in, I got everything for the gas tank, the brake lines, and all that. So going back on this thing, I don't mind telling, this was a $500 car. So I figure, you know, I can spend $5,000 and I'm still ahead of the game.
Oh yeah.
So, and right now, with the parts I got in yesterday, and I'll try to remember to do this, I had $536 worth of parts. That was the gas tank, everything, the sending unit, all the bolts, nuts, screws, everything that went with it.
Okay.
So other than that, now buying stuff like little wire brushes and stuff, I'm not keeping track of that, but in my head, so I may miss something, but right
Right.
now I've got $1,036 in it.
That's pretty neat.
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow. It's looking decent too.
Well, thank you.